no pass game equals no run game. They literally key on the run. Yeah, they did key on the run in the second half. They didn't in the first half. And it was more of the run plays they keyed on. They keyed on the counter play. Once we decided that we were going to use counter a lot more than we normally do, we're usually a zone run team. Counter was more of Tom Herman's thing. And once they figure that out, they shut us down and we couldn't do anything. And obviously Quinn Ewers had an abysmal game. I do think some of that has to do with the wind, but not much. Like probably 3 to 4 of those passes were because of the wind. The rest of it, he just made bad reads. And then I think, again, wasn't anticipating enough. And he may not be capable of that at this point. And if he struggles like this in the first half next week versus Kansas State, you got to pull him. And you got to and you have to put in Hudson Card. I don't know if Steve Sarkisian has the balls to do that. We'll find out. Because to me, a championship coach has the balls to do that. You saw Dabo Sweeney do it. You saw Lincoln Riley do it last year in the Red River rivalry with Caleb Williams over Spencer Rattler. So when your team is struggling, that doesn't mean you have to make a permanent change going forward, but you have to make a change in that game. And you also have to make that clear to Quinn Ewers that this is just for that game. I don't think I predicted 5-7. I think that was another don't be surprised. Okay, well, okay, that's fair. I'm not surprised. I never expected us to win out. I never thought that. I think this college playoff talk was absolutely insane. This defense is nowhere near college football level. Quinn Ewers is not there intellectually as a quarterback for this to be college football level. We were not there. Again, I thought the high point after last week was 9-3. I thought the low point was 8-4. I could be wrong on the low point. The low point could be 6-6, and that would be a disappointing season.
Yeah, I completely 100% agree with that. Definitely a disappointing season for sure.
But I'm very confident saying we will win 6 games. Obviously, that's not a good thing. But again, I watched Baylor and Kansas State. We're beating one of those teams. I don't think we're getting beat 3 times in a row with I believe we play Kansas State and then we play TCU. So I don't think we're losing Oklahoma State, Kansas State, and TCU. That'd be really abysmal if that happened, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think there's a really good chance now that we split the 2 games between TCU and Kansas State and we end up going, like I said, I think we still went out between Kansas and Baylor, but that put us at 8-4. And again, I'm cool with that, but it's also the matter of how we finish out the season. Like, we just can't be doing this over and over again where we continuously blow second half leads like we did last year. That was our biggest issue. And if it keeps coming back to that, then that's an issue with the coaching staff, obviously, if you just continuously blow these leads in the second half. And it's always the 14 points. We can never crush that or go past that 14-point threshold to where we make it a uphill climb where teams actually have to change their game plans. We're always stuck on that 14 points and teams are able to stay within their game plans because 14 points these days isn't that much. You can stay within your game plans in the second half, whereas 21 is, and you start to have to adjust. And we're just not able to get them to that point.
Yeah, we jump on teams early. Defense, I don't know whether this defense gets tired, we're out. I noticed Ryan Watts went out after with it looked like an ankle injury. I'm not sure if I didn't see him come back in the game. But stuff like that, defense again wearing down, not be able to make adjustments.
We are absolutely you're absolutely right. What we do is we get up and then we kind of cruise in the second half. And that's more of an offensive thing. Defensively, I don't think it's that. The teams on offense just make adjustments. And again, we don't make adjustments on defense. I don't think we really need to make adjustments on offense if we stick to the game plan in the first half and just use the motion that we normally run. We abandon that for whatever reason in second half of games. And the secondary, for the last decade, other than Holton Hill at cornerback, no other DB has been able to play the football. No other DB plays the football. They play the man they are guarding and not the football. And I don't understand how you recruit people or how you get these coaches that don't know how to teach that. It's not hard. You get in your stance, you backpedal, you twist your hips when needed. And when the ball is in the air, you turn your head and play the football. It's not hard. And I don't know why it isn't. I don't know if it's not being taught. I don't know if it's the guys we're recruiting don't know how to do it. Like, I just don't know anymore. It's been over a decade and we've had the same issue.
Yeah, another thing I noticed on offense is ball tracking.
Xavier Worthy is terrible at that.
Is that being taught or just he cannot track a ball to save his life?
No, and I think a lot of it is frustration. Like, I think a lot of it is he's being missed on some of these, so he's just like, why am I going to track this ball when it's probably not even going to be catchable to me? Where there are some that we've seen multiple times this year where if he actually turned on the jets and was able to track the ball, he could have caught it. I've seen that like 2 to 3 times. If he doesn't trip versus Oklahoma State or dive or whatever happened there, he catches that for a touchdown. Like he does, he definitely, he's a very good player, no doubt. He'll probably be a first or second round pick. But the thing is, he really needs to learn. He needs to get better at catching the ball and tracking the ball. But he's got the intangibles. When he does catch the ball, he gets yards after the catch. He's very good, obviously, but those are his two biggest flaws. And then Whittington, just unless he's used on third down, they refuse to use him anywhere else. It's quite disappointing.